you're playing the level, those power-ups are relevant in that level. On those level select, they're relevant to the level select, and of course they hit you with the continue afterwards. That's a little bit different than going to a store where they have every item you can buy right there. Because where's the relevance? The player has to make the connection. This is going to help me at this point. You have to pre-buy it. Whereas this, I'm in the game, I'm playing, I need this now, I buy it now. I didn't buy it beforehand. I bought it the moment I needed it. The other thing they did, and this is really important for all games, but they did a really good job with their level. Does anybody know who their level designer is? I want to shake his hand, he's awesome. 512 levels, probably not one guy, but at least one guy orchestrated it, right? A lot of games, you go through a difficulty or progression system that kind of ramps up. And each level gets harder and harder and harder and harder and harder. The problem with this is eventually people, it gets so hard for them that they either stop playing or they play less or they get frustrated. Candy Crush does it a little bit differently. Theirs is like this. And they do it about every fifth. Right, so the first level you play, it's really easy. Play another easy one. Then it gets medium, then it gets medium. And then you get to one of these hard levels that's almost like a software or hardware. It makes you want to pay. But eventually you finish it. And then you're back down the slope again. You're right back at the easy level. And if you don't notice this, if you don't know what they're doing, it just feels good. All right? I'm playing this really hard level, and then I finally beat it, and then I must have learned something. I'm so good at this game right now, because now look at all these levels I'm passing. And then, oh, here comes the challenging level again. Oh, I'm doing excellent again. I'm a good player. It's really strong feeling. I'm not knocking it, even though I kind of have that tone right now.
Could you modulate the difficulty and easiness according to the past? You do an algorithmic-based setup, measuring how quickly they progress through or how few moves they use. Ramp it up to difficulty even faster, drop it only slightly down.
If you want to, that would be especially useful if you wanted like to slide levels around without having to go back and do it. I don't think that's what they did in Candy Crush though, right? What they did probably is they just play tested it with their internal house and external people, and they kind of got a rating scale. You know, it doesn't have to be perfect, right? We don't have to know that something is a 5. We just need to know if it's between 4 and 5 in difficulty. As long as we know that, right, and we get this kind of good general scale, so let's call it A, B, C, D, and E. And A's are just super easy. You should pass them every time. As long as you don't make terrible moves, you should pass, right? And E, well, we're actually going to make one more. A, B, C, D, E, and then F. E is the 5. And if you make all the right moves, you should pass. The reason we have F is only because I mentioned that hardwall level. You shouldn't pass it, right? And so what they do is they just stack them. If we think this level's an A, we put it here, and we do this, and we do this. Right? Should have done that differently, but you get the idea. All right, so we give them an easy level, medium level, hard level, and then we put them right back at A again.
But we want to induce them to a buy at D or E.
That's where they're going to feel the most push. I'll get to that in a second. In fact, we can get to it now. All right? But basically, just